close collaboration with our software experts who specialize in AI techniques like machine learning. A single integrated system means that all the different parts of our self-driving technology work together seamlessly. And every single mile that we drive in the real world to refine our software is a mile that our hardware learns from too. So with this, we can build a hardware suite where each sensor complements the strengths of all the others. Like a person's 5 senses, our sensors are more useful and more powerful when we put them all together. And with this top-to-bottom, full-stack approach, we can create a more reliable, safe, and comfortable riding experience for people inside and outside the car. Now, our first step toward creating our own sensor suite was developing our own prototype vehicle. Now, as an experimental vehicle, without a steering wheel or foot pedal, it was limited to 25 miles per hour. This cute little prototype, which we nicknamed Firefly, and which we built about 50 of, allowed us to create, test, and iterate our own homegrown, purpose-built hardware, sensors, and compute that could handle L4 driving. Now, as we get ready to scale to serve more people and drive on all types of roads and at all speeds, using mass-produced vehicles becomes an imperative, a requirement. In the minivan, this Pacifica Hybrid had the perfect form factor to be our first one. With the integration of Waymo's self-driving hardware and software, these hybrid Pacificas have become the most advanced cars on the road. Importantly, through years of R&D, we've been able to make these more cost-effective so they could one day reach millions of people. Now, I'm pleased to announce that the first of these vehicles will be driving on public roads beginning in Arizona and California later this month. Now, I want to take you under the hood. Let me tell you a little bit more about some of the more exciting hardware innovations under this beautiful sheet metal. What you see here are Waymo designed and built LiDARs, Waymo's own vision system, and Waymo radars. All of our sensors are deeply integrated with the brain of our self-driving cars, our all-new AI compute platform. Our self-driving hardware, combined with this Waymo hardware suite, is our most advanced self-driving system to date, and it's capable of full autonomy. Now, LiDAR is one of the most powerful sensors in a fully self-driving car. It can distinguish between a pedestrian and a mural of a person. It can see shapes in 3 dimensions, detect stationary objects, and measure distance precisely. Now, for this Pacifica minivan, we've designed a complete system made up of 3 different types of Waymo-built LiDARs, 2 of which are brand new categories of LiDAR. First, let's talk resolution. Our cars need a more detailed view of the world than traditional LiDARs can offer. Our trio of lasers send out millions of laser points every second to build an incredibly high-resolution 3D picture. Here's what they see in a busy parking lot. Now, resolution matters because our self-driving cars are built for the complexities of city driving. Streets filled with cyclists, as you see here, pedestrians, and any number of unexpected objects. Now, the detail we capture is so high that not only can we detect pedestrians all around us, but we can tell which direction they're facing. And that's a really important point, as it helps us more accurately predict which direction they're going to go. In addition, we've created 2 new types of LiDAR. Our short-range LiDARs are positioned to give the car a completely uninterrupted surround view, down, behind, and right next to the body, so it can safely see small people and objects, no matter how close they are to the car. Now, some parts of driving involve being able to understand subtle signals, like hand gestures. For example, this cyclist waving to let us pass. Now, being able to drive full speeds means we need that same kind of detail at long range, too. So we've developed a first-of-its-kind long-range LiDAR. It works with the primary LiDAR to quickly zoom 360 degrees around the car. Now, how capable is it? Imagine being able to see a football helmet, but 2 full football fields away. Designing our own LiDAR system has not only given us a more reliable product than what we can get off the shelf, but it's enabled us to do it at a fraction of the cost. Just a few years ago, a single top-of-the-range LiDAR unit would have cost about $75,000. Today, we've brought that cost down by more than 90%. That's 90. And as we scale, we'll take that cost down even further, with a goal of making this technology accessible to millions of people. Well, next I'd like to talk about our vision system. This vision system is designed to take and read a high-resolution picture of the world. For example, it can detect things like traffic lights and stop signs. Now, driving assist camera systems used in cars are quickly becoming popular. However, because we're building a fully self-driving car, we had to design something that could handle more complex situations. That's because there are a few critical limitations with traditional camera systems today. Now, similar to the human eye, cameras have a hard time in difficult lighting conditions. Think about it. Think about the last time you had to drive in bright sunlight or late afternoon with the sun directly in your eyes. Now, a fully self-driving car needs to operate safely in all lighting conditions. So, our new vision system is comprised of 8 vision modules, each using multiple sensors, plus an additional forward-facing, super high-resolution multi-sensor module, enabling a full 360-degree view of the world. Now, with this resolution, we can detect small objects like construction cones far away, even when we're cruising down a road at high speed. And with a wide dynamic range, we can see in a dark parking lot or out in the blazing sun, in any condition in between. Now, finally, I'd like to talk about our radars. We built upon 2-decade-old radar technology and updated it for the needs of a fully self-driving car. Now, conventional automotive radars have a narrow field of view and typically only track forward-moving cars. In contrast, Waymo's new radar system has a continuous 360-degree view, so it can track objects and vehicles usually hidden from the human eye. Our radars are capable of monitoring a vehicle as it comes up from behind, as it moves out in front of us, without any interruption. They also complement our other sensors by being highly effective in rain or fog or snow. Now, conventional radars have also been designed to focus solely on vehicle movements. However, our fully self-driving cars need to safely navigate around all road users, from cars to pedestrians to cyclists. So we've configured our radars so that they're much more sensitive to these slower moving objects. Now, we've talked about each of these sensors separately, but in fact, what makes the entire self-driving suite so advanced is how we've been able to integrate them to complement one another. Our LiDARs pick up where our radars and cameras leave off, and vice versa. Each of these 3 unique sensing systems delivers a continuous 360-degree perspective, giving us an extraordinarily rich view of the world. This sensing hardware, in turn, provides our software and our compute with a wealth of information to learn from. It's a virtuous cycle. Better hardware gives us better data to develop our software, and as our software becomes more sophisticated, we get better at optimizing the most important aspects of our hardware. And it's this tight integration that has made the entire suite robust and more cost-effective, bringing self-driving technology closer to reality for more people in more places. Now, whether it's software or hardware, a big part of learning is gaining real-world experience. Now, today, we've driven nearly 2.5 million miles autonomously, which is the equivalent of 300 years of human driving experience. And most of that time has been focused on driving on complex city streets. That's because we're focused on creating, again, a truly self-driving system that can get you door to door, and these complex miles tell us so much more about how to interact safely and smoothly with other vehicles, with pedestrians, and with cyclists. Now, recently, we've been accelerating the number of miles we drive. Our first 1,000,000 miles, it took us about 6 years to get there. Our next 1,000,000 miles took just 16 months. And by May, we'll reach 3 million miles. That's 1 million new miles in just the last 8 months. And with the addition of our self-driving Pacificas, our fleet will expand further, allowing us to rack up even more real-world experience more quickly. Now, to add to that, we're honing our technology through driving virtual miles in our simulator, which is powered by Google's massive data centers. In the last year alone, we added an additional 1 billion with a B, miles of simulated testing. And all of this simulation has been focused on testing difficult conditions and novel situations that build on all of that real-world experience. The miles we're driving in simulation have been incredibly useful to refining our software. In fact, simulation is now the predominant driver of improvement in our fully self-driving system. Now, one metric we use to measure the progress of self-driving technology is the number of times our test drivers need to take over from the self-driving system. We call these things disengages. And they're a natural part of testing as we get ourselves ready for the road. Now, each year in California, we report the number of these safety-related disengages. We think it's one measure of the capabilities and robustness of self-driving systems. But to track our progress, we measure the number of safety-related disengages that we encounter every 1,000 miles. And I'm pleased to say that we've seen a significant improvement in this number, with the rate dropping over time. In 2016, even as we drove hundreds of thousands more miles, our rate of disengages per 1,000 fell from 0.8 in 2015 to about 0.2 today. And that's a 4-time improvement in the performance of our self-driving systems in just the last 12 months. And as our software and hardware becomes more robust through our testing, we're driving that number down even further. We're also working on improving other key areas, such as ride comfort for our passengers and for those who we interact with on the roads around us. And refining our driving to be smoother and more human-like as well. So we've made tremendous progress on our software, and we're focused on making our hardware more reliable and scalable. That's been the biggest areas of focus for us over the past 12 months. So we're at the point now where we believe we're at an inflection point, where we can begin to realize the potential of this technology. Think about it. Every year, motor vehicles travel 10 trillion miles around the world. And the US alone accounts for about 3 trillion of those miles. Waymo believes that when safe and easy transportation is made available at the push of a button, society can begin to rethink the way people and things move around. Today, we can imagine our self-driving technology being applied in a variety of ways. Personal transportation, ride-hailing, logistics, last-mile solutions for public transport, just to name a few. We think there are useful products and services in each of those areas. But what truly excites us is the potential this technology has to create many new uses, many new products and services that the world has yet to imagine. 1.2 million deaths each year. 20 million people who can't drive in the US alone. So many lifetimes wasted in traffic. We know there's a better way. An almost self-driving car, what one might call aspirational autonomy, it simply won't cut it. To solve these challenges, we're thinking bigger than a single use case, bigger than a particular vehicle, bigger than a single business model. What we're bringing to market is a self-driving technology platform. This integrated software and hardware platform will allow us to deliver products and services that make getting around safe and easy for everyone. Some of these we may do on our own. Some we may work on with partners. And that's why we've been focused right now so intensely on getting the technology right, ensuring this can scale, and working with great partners, with companies like FCA, Honda, and others. We're mastering the hardware and software to build a better driver for a fully self-driving car. Now, with the world's first truly autonomous ride under our belt, and now as a new company called Waymo, we're getting ready to let many more people use and experience a fully self-driving car. And all the work that I've outlined today is in service of that goal. Now, we're looking forward to turning that first ride into millions more. Thanks you guys so much for listening.